everyone. In our previous lesson, in our intro to geometry, we learned all about points and lines, line segments, rays, and angles. And today we're going to look at specific types of lines called parallel and perpendicular lines. So first, going over some new vocabulary words. First, we have intersecting lines, and these are lines that cross at exactly one point, and they form four angles. Normally, they'll form two obtuse, so here and here, and then two acute, here and here. And so these are intersecting lines. You can see that they intersect at point E, and they are lines. Remember, lines continue in both directions infinitely, and so they have their arrows at the end. So these lines are intersecting. Another type of line is called parallel lines, and these are lines that are always the same distance apart, and they will never intersect. They will never touch. So here we have line FG and line HJ. They will continue on, their respective planes and never ever will come in contact with each other. A way that we can represent that lines are parallel to each other is you can write the names of the lines. So here we'll do line FG, and we have line HJ, and in between those lines, we can annotate them this way, we're going to put a set of parallel lines. And if you notice, an easy way to remember what parallel lines are is looking at the name. Okay, the two L's in parallel are parallel. If they were to extend both ways, okay, they would never intersect with each other. So the L's in parallel are parallel. It's a nice way to remember that. And then so a specific type of intersecting line, it would be called the perpendicular lines. So these, again, they are intersecting. They are, coming together at exactly one point, here, point R. However, these are special because they form four 90-degree angles, okay? And so I don't have the box here, but what I'm actually going to do is to the best of my ability, I'm going to try to draw a square. And, oh, not quite perfect, but you get the point. So pretty much, if lines are perpendicular, okay, they will form four 90-degree angles. If you remember from our previous lesson on angles, the 90-degree angles normally will have a little square in that corner, and so if you have all four together, you'll have a bigger square. And so here we have lines P and M and lines Q and N. And the way that you can annotate that these are perpendicular is by putting the names of the lines. So line PM and line QN. And the symbol for perpendicular, it's a little interesting. It's not a plus sign. It is just a line going down. It's like an upside down T. Kind of what it looks like. So this would be the symbol that you might see used for representing that lines are perpendicular to each other. All right, so let's practice finding and naming some parallel, intersecting, perpendicular lines using this figure over here. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is name a pair of intersecting lines. And so remember, these are lines that they meet at a point, and they just form angles, not necessarily right angles, but just form angles. So go ahead and pause the video and see which intersecting lines you can find. So there's a couple choices here. The first line I'm going to choose is going to be this line going down here. Okay, so line GH. So line GH. And I'm going to say that it is intersecting line, there's a couple choices. I'll choose this one down here. Okay. So that one is intersecting line E E is at this end and F is at the other end. So line E, F. Okay, so we can see that they are intersecting at point N. So these are intersecting lines. If I look, okay, I can find 4 angles. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not necessarily right, okay, but they are creating angles that and the lines do come together at one specific point. So I'm going to try to erase this, or maybe I should just change the color. Let's see how that works out, because if I erase it, I don't want to. Oh, it actually won't erase my stuff this time. I think I figured out a way to cheat the system. All right, but I am going to change my color still. All right, so now it's asking us to name a pair of parallel lines. And so remember, parallel lines we would represent with that symbol there. And so pause the video, take a moment to see if you can find the set of parallel lines. So I kind of give you a clue there. There is only one set. All right, the first line is here. So this would be line CD. So line CD. And then the other line is this one down here. Even though my lines aren't parallel, the original ones are. So the second line would be line E and F. Remember, you would always name the lines by the points. They're not necessarily the end points, but they are the points that are closest to the ends of the line. So these are parallel, okay? If you took, all the other lines away, these two lines would never, ever, ever intersect each other. Okay, they're always going to be this distance apart, no matter how long they continue on their plane. And last but not least, okay, we are being asked to find a pair of perpendicular lines. All right, so now you're probably thinking, well, there's no squares, or, there's nothing to show me that there's right angles. And that's true. Sometimes you might not be given that little symbol to help you signify if it's the perpendicular lines or not. But remember the trick. So if you're able to draw, not like me, but if you are able to draw a nice little square in the corner of where the lines are intersecting, okay, then that is a signal to you that the lines are perpendicular. Because notice, remember we said that, these lines were just intersecting. And if I tried to draw on these lines, that doesn't really make a nice little square, does it? It's more like a trapezoid. Same thing over here. If I try to draw a square here, again, that kind of looks like Arkansas, but it doesn't make a nice little square. Whereas over here, okay, with lines as straight as I can possibly make them with my mouse, here I have a nice little square, and I can actually make another nice little square down here as well. That would be a straight line. Straight line. Okay. So here, naming a pair of perpendicular lines, okay, you do have two choices. This line here, though, is going to be one of the main choices. So this would be line AB. Line AB. Remember our funky little symbol for perpendicular, the little upside down T? And so now you have choices. Line AB is actually perpendicular to this line here. Okay. And it is also perpendicular to this line down here. So either one of those you choose will be acceptable. But I'm going to choose the one on top. So I'm going to say that line AB is perpendicular to line CD. Those do form right angles. And if you go all the way around, you'll see that they form 4 right angles. You can make the big square there. All right, so something I really like about parallel and perpendicular lines is that they actually do serve a very big purpose in the real world, especially when people are planning cities and laying out plans. Using intersecting parallel and perpendicular lines plays a huge part of that. If you've ever looked at a city map, you probably notice a lot of parallel perpendicular lines. And so here's a map I found. It looks like it's part of probably Washington, D.C., because we have the Smithsonian here, and Natural History Museum and Constitution Avenue, and you know, just the way the buildings look, the embassy over here. Pretty sure this is Washington, D.C. So I want you to take a moment and I want you to see if you can find an example of some streets. So the streets are named in blue. Okay. Black is naming all the different landmarks and buildings and things like that. So take a moment and see if you can find a pair of lines or streets on this map that are parallel to each other. Okay, there's a few. So, and the cool thing with parallel lines is that they can go, you know, multiple ways. So, Constitution Avenue is parallel to Madison Drive. They're also in parallel to Independence Avenue, way down here. Jefferson Drive's interesting because it has kind of this little bump in it. So we can't really consider that one. But this segment over here would be considered parallel. Also, we can go the other direction. So 14th Street coming down this way is also parallel to 7th Street. And it's also parallel to 3rd Street. So if you notice, you know, these streets, like if I was on 7th and I wanted to get to 3rd, just by looking at this map, well, I'd have to, you know, figure out another intersecting road because they're parallel to each other. So that means that those streets will never cross. So I can't get to 3rd Street from 7th Street without going down another street. Let's see about some perpendicular lines. So this means that these streets are intersecting, and they're intersecting at exactly 90 degrees. So they probably, if, you know, this was a, oops, did not mean to do that. So that means, you know, we probably would have like a traffic light or a stop sign or something here. So take a moment and let's see if you can find an example of perpendicular lines on the map. Okay, again, we have quite a few, all right? Madison, oops, I didn't erase everything. Madison Drive here is perpendicular to 14th Street. And if you were to continue going down the way here, it'd be perpendicular to 7th Street. And it's also perpendicular to 3rd Street. And this unknown street here doesn't have a name. But remember earlier when we were talking about if I was on 7th Street and I wanted to get to 3rd Street, well, Madison is, you know, perpendicular and it actually intersects both. So you could take Madison to get from 7th Street to 3rd Street. There's lots and lots and lots of other examples as well. If I come back over here, 14th Street is also perpendicular to Independence Avenue. And if I go back up this way, it's also perpendicular to Constitution Avenue. Pennsylvania Avenue is interesting because it does not form any right angles. So this line would be just considered intersecting. Pennsylvania Avenue just intersects with well, no, this is our unnamed road here, but it just intersects with 3rd Street and 7th Street. So you could take Pennsylvania Avenue too to get there. It's just not creating, you know, these are not right angles up here. So this would be just an intersection, not necessarily perpendicular. But again, lots of different examples of how perpendicular, parallel, and intersecting lines, you know, play a role in our everyday lives. So for your assignment today, go around and find some other real-world examples of parallel and perpendicular lines in your house and upload a picture of it onto your Dojo account. That's it for today. I'll see you guys later. Bye.